So now, happy the computer, when it asks itself, do I have an IP address? At first it was no. So it talked to the DHCP server, who flawlessly, once I explained it correctly, handed out an IP address 2.0.2.11 and a default gateway of 2.0.2.1. And also, as you pointed out, a DNS address, which I didn't put an IP on, so we'll just say we know what it is. But it's going to be on a, it's going to have a totally different address, like 8.8.8.8, or it's used a lot. It's Google's. So now we can say yes to this diamond. And the next one is, do I know Reddit's IP address? And if it just rebooted, like I said, the answer is no, unless caveats, and we don't care about caveats right now.
Say no.
Yes, yes, it doesn't.
You just bought this computer from Best Buy, you know nothing.
And so,
Reddit, don't know anything about
it. Yeah, good friend just told you it's a great place to study for your master's thesis. And so you've never been there before.
Do I not
So,
shut off my computer even though I've used it before, like I've used it. And when I turn my computer back on, like no applications are open, do I not have an IP?
It'll get the IP for you regardless of anything else, right?
Starts up,
when it gets connected to the network, it'll get in there.
Yeah.
It'll talk to the DHCP server again, and it'll say, hey, is this still my IP address, basically?
Okay.
Yep.
Because they can change.
And the network's like the internet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll go through, we'll talk about this, it'll go through this guy to get to the internet. But it will be able to talk, like as soon as it has an IP address, it'll be able to talk to the stuff on your home network. And because it knows your default gateway, that guy can route you to the internet. And it's, that'll be.
Once you connect to the internet.
Yeah, but it comes early in the cycle. And if you look at your logs, like if you run a Linux, you'll see it on the screen. But if you look like in the Windows event viewer, you'll see at some point a connection to the internet will get logged. So it's during startup, it all happens. Yeah. You won't have to wait unless something's wrong.
So like once it's like loading up, it gets the IP.
Yep.
That's when you connect.
Exactly. Yep.
Basically, when the network driver turns on, it link connectivity, and very early in that OSP process.
What if you're plugged into the internet? Same thing.
Same thing happens, except you're less likely to not have a connection unless something's wrong further up.
And you're less likely to have weirdos like me sniffing in the ear and seeing what you're up to.
That's not scare the new people.
So anyway, the next thing is, do I know Reddit's IP address so that I can, connect to Reddit? And let's say the answer is no, and we're going to follow this red arrow. And the red arrow goes to a DNS server. And DNS stands for, who answered what DHCP stands for? That was, okay, so somebody else? Do you know what DNS stands for? I get stuff there too. Might be naming, but domain name. It's either system or service. I think it's system. I work for one of the largest DNS systems in the world, and it even reports to my boss. But I can never remember. It's either domain name system or domain name service or something like that.
Service, but I don't.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wrong. I don't know.
Anyway, what it does, a domain on the internet, the domain name is something like reddit.com or google.com or trying to.
//:www.google.com.
They're related.
The name is the actual name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a URL. That's a whole address. But the part, I'm simplifying here for a reason, but the last part and the dot and the very next part before that are usually the domain name, just that part. And you can't, that's not an IP address, it's a name so that we can remember, to type google.com. But your system, your computer needs an IP address. It can't route to letters, it needs numbers. And so DNS is the service that changes, or that you give it a domain name and it'll return an IP address.
It's like the post office, right? Florida's Haven Live, right? And if I were Haven Live, well, Haven Live's at 123 Cherry Street, yeah, right? That's Cherry Street is the 123 Cherry Street's the IP address, but your room is linked to that. Right?
So now for the red arrow pattern, you're gonna ask our DNS server for the IP address for Reddit, which just kind of a
What is
sneak
No,
peek here.
You're gonna ask the DNS server, say, hey, what's the IP
No, like,
address?
what is the DNS?
It's a you
It's a
think of it.
global service, so there's basically DNS, he knows more about than I do, but
You just think of it. It's a huge database.
yes.
You can ask for the location of basically any domain, anything on the internet.
DNS is like Google, where you go to like
Right.
reddit.com.
Let me show you something.
All right, trying to find like mom and dad on the phone book.
Oh, I don't want RDAP. I want Dig. RDAP is cool, but so this is one of my domains, databaseguy.com. And when I run Dig, it is actually communicating with the DNS server. And by default, with just my default options, this is what I get back. And the important part here is that it's saying this domain, databaseguy.com, is located at 160.153.48.1. This is what a DNS server is giving back.
So how is Happy asking for Reddit?
It's just built into the OS,
Okay.
but you're having to pretend you're the computer. So you're asking her.
Okay.
So,
I thought
yeah.
it was like that would be like Google when you type in reddit.com. That's you asking for the IP.
No, that'll search for information about reddit.com. But you're under the hood automatically. The browser sees you type google.com and
What the Google IP is, what the Twitter IP is, without having to like look it up.
it'll look it up. Any domain name.
Well, I mean, without going to like twitter.com, without looking that up.
No, any domain name will have to be turned into an IP address.
Yeah,
So
always find a DNS server to find out where, because they can change.
No, what-
So,
Well, I'm just confused what you're saying the same thing that's not answered. Like, so it already has like all of the IPs for like the different .coms in it, and even if you look up, it already has it, even if you're not looking up like YouTube.com.
so your computer will not, unless, like, if you just buy a brand new computer, it's blank. Now, the first time you go to Google, if you type in, I want to go to Google, is much what we'll do here with Reddit. It's gonna ask the DNS server, what the address for Google. Now,
Okay.
your computer
Can
will
do that.
store that. And
Oh.
then later
Thanks,
on,
yeah.
when you type Google, rather than, bother the busy DNS server, it'll just go. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's got that.
So if
By
I
the
go to a
way,
website I've never been to before, then it gets,
Yeah.
okay.
There you go.
And it caches it, there's like what's called a time to live, and then it'll look, because those IP addresses can change. Not that all.
Regularly they do.
Well, they do, yeah, but
So even if I like unplug my PC or shut it off, it still has like the IP saved.
yeah, so
Okay.
it caches it till it's.
Right.
It'll probably clear that cache when you reboot.
On Windows, no. Windows, the cache persists. On Linux, it depends on what result you use.
by the way, the reason that's important is that's an easy way to, that commonly
It's always DNS.
We have 5 minutes.
Always.
by the way.
Yeah. So let's move on.
moving on.
So
No, that's a good question.
So he's asked you for this address, and I didn't put it on the instructions, but it's actually what you need to tell him is this one. So
The IP address? Yeah, it's one,
No, you gotta tell them, you gotta ask them which IP address.
what's IP address? I read it. It's 151.101 and 1930 and 140/10.
And this is in the magical world where we only have one master DNS server.
We're gonna keep.
Well, that's-
We're not talking about recursion.
That would be a wonderful, that would be a
That's-
wonderful world.
This is his DNS server, right?
Yes.
So
This is the perfect DNS server. We have every IP cached.
Yes,
Moving on.
it probably has Reddit cached.
yes.
And so, and it'll probably accept a non-authoritative answer. So we're moving on. So at this point, what Haddon knows, what his computer has taken note of is everything he has on his card, which is he knows his own IP address with the /24 at the end. He knows his default gateway. We haven't said what that's for yet. He knows his DNS server, which is not going to be needed anymore for this. And he knows Reddit's address. All the pieces are there, except he needs to know one other thing. Is Reddit on my network? If Reddit's on my network, I'll just give them the request, right? Here you go. If Reddit's not on my network, that's what this default gateway is for. The default gateway is just where you send a packet if it's not on your local, if the thing you're trying to connect to isn't on your local network. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about right now. So, but as an example, if you were going to send something to this printer in your house, I think I've got this label, this is your network at your home. You're not going to need, you're going to communicate probably through your router, but it's not going to serve as a default gateway. It's not going to send that out to the internet. It's going to recognize that this is a local device. And it's just going to send it, right to the printer. And with the amount of time we have left, I'm going to say that the easiest way to explain this, right, in a minute, is, and we'll talk about CIDR later, folks, is that the first part of this address, 10.0.2, is the same as the first part of this address, 10.0.2. And when it sees that, it's like, oh, that's on my network. That's a local resource. So if the printer is 10.0.2.50 and I want to print and I say it goes to the printer at 10.0.2.50, your router will see that it starts with 10.0.2 and say, oh, that's local, and just send it to the printer. Okay. But when it sees the Reddit IP, which was 151.101.193, your computer will see is Reddit on my network, and it'll say, oh no, that doesn't start with 10.0.2 at all, right? And so that's when your router becomes a gateway to the internet. And so I think we're gonna skip the, yeah.
I think the biggest thing just to understand is companies pay for public IP space and then there's private IP space.
Yeah. So we can do behind our gateway, we can use these 10 dot addresses and do whatever we want. But now that we're trying to get to, I forgot, a 151 address, our router is going to know that's not a local address. And so it's going to ship it out to the internet. And interestingly, it's not a default gateway, but it knows that if it gets this particular address, and we're not going to talk about the magic of how that happens, but it knows that it should send it to this router. And the internet is basically, and we call it a cloud, but it's just computers and kind of the same thing you have in your house, except it's someplace else.
The cloud is someone else's computer.
Yes, it is. And so it'll send it to a different router, just kind of like your router at home. And this router will say, hey, that 151.101 address, is that do I have that on one of my networks? Because routers can have multiple networks, and he'll say no, but he'll know that to get it to Reddit eventually, that it has to go through another router and another router. And finally, you'll get to one of the routers that will say 151.101.193. And I know this doesn't say 193, but trust me.
Just trust me, bro.
Trust me. Well, actually, this shouldn't say, this is wrong, Reddit's default gateway, ignore that. But this one will know to route it up here. And this is actually Reddit's default gateway.
You could see this do like what's called
Yeah.
a trace route,
Mm-hmm.
like on a
And we can,
line.
that's a good idea.
You can actually see like what he's talking about, the little.
Yep.
different hops.
And so that last router will route it here. But this is Reddit's router. This 172.16.33.1 is the IP address they use inside their network, inside their kind of, inside their house, so to speak. And this router is doing the same thing your router does at home. Is that it's like Reddit is their house and this is their default gateway to get out to the internet.
You're in my house.
Yeah. I think Naomi has to go.
You'll be able to like, this will be recorded, so you'll be able to view like the rest.
A lot of it, I didn't start until Dan mentioned it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just here from the beginning.
Yeah.
Here's a trace route.
So,
Eventually, the trace route will fail to still because the way trace route works. Send a packet out with a specific time to live, basically saying, at a particular number of hops, I want the packet to be out. And then that gets reported to that. Like, oh, your packet, really, what the heck is your address? So you send them back packets. We use that to our advantage to develop a trace route, which lets us be at every hop. Eventually, it gets outside of what's called your ASN, or your address space number, which is your little giant bubble that your ISP
hold it,
has.
little giant bubble, try that again.
Little giant-
Yeah.
It's a big bubble from your, but in the grand scheme of things, very tiny. It's a very tiny bubble, but it's your ISP's bubble, which is remarkably large in good perspective. You have that. Once you get out of that, then a new protocol comes into play called Border Gateway Protocol, which is how these different bubbles talk to each other. And once you get that into play, then traceroute stops working. Because you can't see what's past LAC.
Hey Naomi, thanks.
It just dies.
Thanks for joining us, Naomi.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 3 weeks, but these guys will see you next
This
week.
is a Linux terminal
Or,
user space.
I think you will. Dan will be gone. I think you're the only, yeah,
We'll talk after.
yeah.
I have, actually. I have launched a
Does
verified.
anyone have a
Okay.
USB-C?
What for?
Just ADB real quick.
Oh, you need ADB. I got you, bro.
Okay. So I tried to get in as much as we could by 11:30. So let's, yep, hey guys. There you go. Yeah. I think that, so we skipped a bit of how, we skipped a bit of how a router knows if another host, right, if something on their local network is local, or if it has to send it off someplace else, right? We just kind of said, I waved my hands and said, oh, it's, the beginning of the address is the same, right? But how would the router know, is it the same because they both start with 10? Or is it the same because they start with 10.0? Or is it the same because they start with 10.0.2? Or is it different because this is 10.0.2.11, that's 10.0.2.1, right? How does it know how far to compare? And we can talk about that now, right? And yeah, we love
Apple
cider.
cider.
Real
So-
slapper there.
Basically, and this is all these nice colors I stole from the other, no. Adam. This is math. And it's binary numbers. What do you think about binary numbers? Do you know what they are? Yeah, we'll talk about this a little bit. Hans? Binary numbers?
Ones and zeros.
Yeah, do you know how to read them?
No.
All right,
I'm not a computer.
I'm not either, but I can.
Yeah.
Throw us under the bus, why don't you?
This is not a binary number, this is the base 10 number. How many is that? Now, you can read base 2 numbers, it'd be the same thing. How do we know this is 123? What's the 1 mean?
1/100s.
Yeah, so that's 100, right? And oops. The 2, 2 tens. Right? And the 3
1s.
is just 3. I'm not even gonna try to write straight on a board that's shorter than me. So why is this 1s and 10s and 100s? You know, this bit exponents. Dan?
Because they're exponents of 10.
Yeah. So this is 3 times 10 to the 0th power. This is 2 times 10 to the 1st. And this is 1 times 10 squared. Right? Makes sense? Yeah. This is a binary number. It's not 101. It looks like LOL. This one, we do the same game, but we use 2s. Okay. So this one is 1 times what? Just follow the same pattern. It's 2s instead of 10s. So 1 times 2 to the
0th power.
yeah, 1 times 2 to the 0th power, which is anything to the 0th power is 1. So it's 1 times 1. It's not a trick question.
I've got Hans.
One.
All
There
right.
you go.
This one is 0 times 2 to the first power. This gets easier. Yeah. And what's that one work out to be? Tricky question. Well, we're multiplying by 0.
2 to the first power is.
And this one is 1 times 2 to the
1.
2 second. That's for 0, 1, and 2.
1.
Yeah, how many people think it's 0?
1.
1. Yeah, you think it's 1. But let's see what the others think. How many people think it's 2 to the first? Sorry, Phil. How many people think it's 2 squared? 2 to the second. How many people are Oxel? Yeah. So this is 2 to the second. And 1 times 2 to the second works out to be what? Well, in Greek, please.
1.
What's 2 to the second? What's 2 squared? 4 times 1.
4.
Quattro.
So you add these guys up and you get,
Just throw it at you, why don't you?
right? Just like you add up the 100 plus 20 plus 3, you get 123. Now we're going to add up 4 plus 0 plus 1. We get?
7.
You do. It's not a trick question. Yes. Anybody?
4 plus 0 plus 1. Come on, guys.
5.
I'm not gonna write it down to you. Yeah. At work, we used to say 5 when we thought somebody made a good joke. It was shorter than LOL. Type in 5. Yeah, my idea.
Abbreviating your.
That is such an engineer thing. Just say 5 instead of LOL expressly because
Oh,
it
yep.
takes 2 keystrokes.
too long.
Yeah.
It takes 2 keystrokes.
And when you get used to this, it actually gets pretty easy. Because I don't think of it this way. I think of this as I get the 0 and I get the 4, and then I add them together. I don't get the 2, right? But, you know, it takes a while to get used to this, all right? the point is, the only thing we need to know right now is that you can turn IP addresses into string, you can convert that number like 10 in our address, you can convert it to a binary number. That's really all we need to know. And I'm gonna do that.
That's basically what's happening on the scene.
Yeah.
Get used to this thing.
Well, it helps us understand it. So the first one is 10. And the idea is that we have to represent this as powers of 2. And I'll just help you.
0, 1, 0.
What's that?
1, 0, 1, 0.
1010, he says. So we did this in groups of 8 zeros and ones, because that's as big, like when you have this 255 is the biggest number you can get, and that's 8 binary ones. 1 is 255. So Dan said,
So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0.
1010. And so we don't get the 1, we do get the 2, we don't get the 4, we do get the 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. He's smart. The next one is a 0, isn't it? I got it.
That one's easy. I can do it.
Octets. How many octets?
4 half words or a D word. If you're
Okay.
working assembly.
The next one's a 2.
For the registry.
What's the binary representation of 2 gonna be, Kaiser?
Probably 7 zeros and a 2.
Sorry, what?
Do not listen to that man.
I don't think there's a table.
So,
Yes, there's 2 digits. There's 0 and 2.
so just, if you're wondering, the first one's 128. That's how many this one is. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128.
So he just gave you the answer.
So is 2 bigger than 128? This is the way you can build these things out. 2's not bigger than 128, so we don't get that one. It's not bigger than 64. It's not bigger than 32, bigger or equal to. It's not 16 or bigger. It's not 8 or bigger. It's not 4 or bigger. It is 2 or bigger. Subtract the 2, we got nothing left. That's 2. Lots of ways to do this. So last one, 11. Dan, help me out.
Now it's 1.
Same
Oh.
as the first one ending.
No, the IP for this guy is
Oh, I thought you were.
Yeah. 11. So
0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1.
because it's 10 plus 1.
Whoa.
Ooh.
You might want some commas there.
No.
Or
No,
dots.
just four half words.
Yeah. And so we want to know if that one is on the same network. And so I'm going to much more quickly put this one on the board. It's the same, except the last number is a 1 instead of an 11. Even I can do this. I could just have to, this is happy.
Big number.
Is everybody caught up that those numbers we have on there are the same as the 4 numbers of the IP address? Just want to make sure we're not lost.
Yeah, can you put a break there maybe between them, just so they are like.
Period.
Oh, that's for.
Well, it's just so you visually can see, like.
You could have done.
I can't read it, but I understand.
You could have done it, but you didn't.
Are
You made it.
are you following along? Those are just the binary
I
numbers.
understand why it worked, I don't really understand. I understand like why it's
Yeah.
working.
It takes a while.
Just start.
But
Oh,
yeah,
just like those numbers lead up to letters, which, or like you, that stuff that spells out, or.
well, these numbers turn into, like this one's 10.
Maybe put the IP address above it.
Yeah.
I meant numbers, not letters.
So this one's 10 dot.
Well, that's confusing because binary can also represent letters.
Yeah, but in this case, I
Yeah,
meant.
we're just focused on learning this transition between 10 base and 2 base.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, you can have a calculator, so then it's fine.
But the concept is.
Yep.
To understand. So see how that's 10.0.2.11? And then that's the binary representation of that IP address.
I'm gonna put GW for the gateway. And the first three are the same. First three, we call them octets, those numbers that are separated by the dots, because they take 8 numbers. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. That's also 10. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, which is 0.
Probably have a router at one.
Yeah.
Something, all of these things, you can log into your router and take a look at it.
And this one is different. But since it's 1, in all the number of systems we're likely to use, it's how many of our zeros and turn the last one on, because that's how almost.
My mom's wondering if she should come at 12 or 12:30.
Think about 12, we're wrapping. Yeah, I know we didn't get quite through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Other 12:15.
12:15.
Yeah.
Yeah. We probably should have some time too, just to review if you're gone and Dan's gone next week.
Yeah.
Make sure we're on the same page with.
Yeah.
What we're doing next week.
Yeah, I can stay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the magic bit. However you get this, doesn't matter. Pull out a calculator. I use RealCalc on my phone, very nice. And you can tell it, you can type something in, you type in 10, and then, or the Windows Advanced Calculator, I think can do this. But type in 10, and then just tell it to switch to binary, and it'll show you this 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Doesn't matter for our purposes how you get this. I just wanted to make it look believable. But here's the deal. Look at the chart. Right here, the /24 that we didn't explain is important because how many, remember we called it an octet because there's 8 of these numbers, 8 binary digits. Well, if you look at the first 3 of these groups, this is 8 digits plus 8 digits plus 8 digits. That's 24 binary digits. And that tells the router and all the hosts, that tells it how far to look to see if the thing's the same, to see if the address is the same. So in this case, this is how, because of the /24, that's how all of these, all these devices know that they should look at the 10.0.2 because that's the part that goes 24 bits out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see the 255.255.255 on there? Saying the exact same thing. Because if you make these all ones, for the first 24 bits, that number is 255.255.255. They're both just saying how far the network address goes, which is 10.0.2. And then after that, on this network, those are the only pieces that are going to change is that last number. Do you have questions about this? The /24 notation is something called CIDR. It will be a little more confusing when it doesn't land on a boundary of 8, but it doesn't have to. At home, I've got my network set up as /17, which means that much of my addresses have to match on my network.
Why?
Why not? I was gonna have 2 VLANs, split the 16. Was going to, haven't, but
Keyword was.
yeah.
But
So and so that's pretty good. Looking at the document, thinking things through. you may have questions. You mentioned we should do a trace route or something like that.
I think he showed him one, but
I showed Hans a trace.
it might be good to do a quick one on the screen, just so they see the.
I think on Windows Bash, it's Trace RT. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's installed in WSL or not.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, they didn't. I suppose it's in NetTools now.
What, Traceroute?
Yeah, it's not.
Traceroute is its own package
Okay,
on some distros. Not many of them have.
so,
Reddit.
oh, yeah. So if my system doesn't know where reddit.com is, it's gonna go to DNS, find that address first. And is it -D or -N? Trying to
I
get it
think you
to,
can just pass it as a regular argument. I don't know if you need to.
no, I don't want to see sites, I want to see addresses. There we go.
That's all the routers, what you're seeing, the IP addresses there, that's all the different routers and your latency between.
There's a ton of them and they're all on 207.191. That's
On one
weird.
side of our ASN.
Yes, when you talk to Reddit, you're going through all those different routers to get your response.
This is unusual though.
I got a different Traceroute result.
Like, so they can do like round robin and stuff.
No, I mean the fact that it stayed, these are all IMON routers.
Yeah,
That's just weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
that I haven't found. That's just really just like a IMON-ism. IMON.
Imon does weird stuff.
They do really weird stuff.
They've messed up my laptop because of it, actually.
Hmm.
You know about this, I think.
Yeah, I need to get unlocks. We'll fix it. We actually did fix it though.
And then sometimes depending on how the router's set up, you may not get a response back at that layer, it shows stars.
Yeah, that's you typically run into that. Like, so I'm getting that problem right now.
And that's because the router is rejecting the trace route.
The ICMP frame.
Right.
So another thing, you don't have to like, hang on, my passwords. You don't have to worry about how I'm showing what I'm showing here, but I think we can also show how we can show a DHCP actually talking to its server. Right now, I'll get the same address back. So don't worry, what I'm saying is this is Linux. You haven't used Linux before, don't worry about it. But this command shows this is my current IP. Notice there's /20. So their network, the network part of the address is the first two numbers, plus they split the second one in half. So if this was, it'd be 10.0.0 because they don't care about the second half of the two. So this is, it'd be 172, it doesn't matter, 172.25.112, I think. I'm guessing. I don't
think that's.
That's a good guess. I don't think
Usually
it's right.
start with-
Yeah. So, so there's this, I want to get I think I know the command or the parameters.
DHCP CD.
Yeah,
Are you
is
trying
there
to
a
do-
V?
I think it's just TAC. Oh, are you using DH client? I
Yeah.
don't do DH client. I use
Um,
that.
D runs as a 4-bound process. That's the one I want. And V verbose.
Do system cuddle stop DHC client because you may run into issues with that. Yeah,
Oh, yes, I do. I think we'll just try this.
Okay. Listening on IPv6.
There's
No,
no-
that's not IPv6. That's MAC.
Oh, but this isn't, is this not bridged?
Listening, sending.
This is what it looks like when DHCP fails.
If you go into Microsoft, you can just do IP config/renewal.
Yeah, but I can't see I wanted to see the conversation, right?
Oh, do you have Wireshark by any chance?
Yeah, but
But you're getting a lot more than.
I mean, I can
There,
filter
you
it.
can- You can filter for DHCP.
Yeah, you can, yeah, it's just true.
But yeah, WSL is not rich.
It can, but I don't want to do
That
that.
could break stuff.
which one is, it's this one. 65, 1665. Oh, that's not. I'm not sure. Okay, so now let's see. Do I have Wireshark? I said yes, and I don't.
WinGet.
WinGet will win.
We're gonna show you a DHCP conversation if it kills us.
Well, the only thing
I'm ready to go.
ooh, StrataShark's cool. Actually, have you messed around with StrataShark yet?
I don't touch Wireshark. Some school is gonna kick me out.
Dog, I've been messing around with packet dumping at Marion Homeschool for far too long.
So that's why the Wi-Fi is so locked down.
That is not because of me.
I heard it was because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not, wasn't it, AJ? On the
I
Wi-Fi.
randomized my MAC address. You got no proof. No proof.
It's also run actually.
You sure about that?
You got nothing on me, bucko. I encrypt my DNS. I'm like the only
You
person
leave
who encrypts my
signatures.
DNS.
There are
So that's
signatures.
like-
Happy to have time.
So I could go help them try to identify you and we come up
to
empty.
pick you out on the network.
Oh, I stick out like a sore thumb, man. I'm the only one calling out to like Fedora and Arch Linux repository, dude. I'm like the only dude who uses Linux on their network. It's I smell like I stick out like a sore thumb. Well, you're a new addition. You're a new addition.
I forgot.
You might actually be able to help mask my my internet part I'm making.
Didn't you try to tell them some of
Oh,
the?
this is so small.
Holes that they had or something like you're telling me and they didn't
Okay.
want to patch them?
I just
Yeah.
it's a school. My SSN has already been breached as a result of their shenanigans, and that wasn't even their fault. It's like I'm not paid enough for this.
I love doing a full system update on NuvoCo Wi-Fi because it's so fast.
I like doing system
Really?
updates on every network except mine expressly because it's free bandwidth.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how long that I do a full system.
And
update.
because I do PGP encryption, so I can say
79 packages, huh?
that's cute.
That's it?
It's not you're not doing a real system like that's it.
I did ask
Well,
why.
brother, don't you like have like 4,000 packages? Don, how many packages you pack in there?
Yeah, it's like 3,000 or something.
Really?
Is there an argument for Yay or Pac-Man to reinstall everything?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to set. I've gotten back.
Why
to,
would
like,
you
trying to
want
build
to
my
do
own
that?
Linux
In
distro.
case everything's broken.
Build my own.
Where's the,
distro?
Let me show you some.
I'll use it.
But you'll use my Linux distro.
it didn't,
Trust
It
it.
should be really nice. So like
Hey,
packages.
hey, Isaac, this wouldn't get,
Help with NPCap.
no, wouldn't get, didn't install it. And so I heard which one, what's the usual one? Nmap?
And you have not one.
NPCap?
I think is it NPCap still? Yes, you do.
Oh, that
Okay.
Nmap, duh. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so you can go.
This
you can
one?
Install that with WinGet too,
Yeah,
as well. So just do WinGet install NPCap, and that should do the trick.
Well, we were just talking.
It will ask if you want to allow everyone but administrators to
Yeah.
capture packets. You might want to say yes to that.
So it wouldn't be that.
Maybe. Oh, no, you don't want WinPCAP. You do not want WinPCAP. You'll need to install it.
Oh, it was- did I say it wrong?
WinPCAP's fine though. You do not.
So I don't want that.
WinPCAP's been deprecated.
But I just asked for NPCap, right?
Give you-
Yes.
Yes.
I was saying that you could get it from WinGet and then just make things cleaner, but you'll just get it.
But that
from
was
the
WinGet.
installer. That was WinGet, that's WinPCAP. That one's been deprecated.
This one?
That's the one, yes.
This one's been
You're from it-
184.
This is the one you want. This one's being actively developed and actually being maintained.
It's got Windows 11, yeah. Yeah, and I'm used to the one you download and it says, hey, do you want to install? Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
Before you leave though, I think the next week.
Am I the next guy?
Well, that's what I thought. We
I
didn't look at
think
this.
that's what I thought too.
We gotta look at the schedule, because I thought we're going.
I'm gonna teach you guys how to use Bash.
Well,
Not Bash, we're
I
doing.
thought it was VMs.
Yeah.
Linux. The VM's virtual machine.
Do you need any help prepping for next week?
The only thing I need access to is a hypervisor, aka I need to know if Ice Age is up. And if Ice Age is not,
Ice Age, I love that movie.
then I
Yeah.
can run access.
He means Ice Rink.
Over SSH.
Check it out. I think it's up.
You wanna check with all your.
Iceh2.iceage.org.
Ice Age 2 is kind of mid. I like the first one better.
A little bit different, this is the hypervisor location.
I get VMware screens. Can I enter my password?
You give
I think I logged in
14?
not long ago.
memorable names, you can remember that.
Oh yeah, I've got a UI.
Why do I have so many?
We should delete some old VMs.
Yeah.
Wait.
Permission to delete all current VMs.
I thought they were reverting to.
We should probably,
vSphere. Are they still, is it still vSphere?
Still vSphere and all our VMs are
Couple
there.
letters.
okay,
Alrighty then.
what's the,
Okay, so do IP.proto
Yeah.
equals
Thank you.
DHCP.
whoops,
No, it's Lua, so you need to have.
need the space?
So you don't need the space, I'm just saying that's the reason why, if their space isn't making it red. It's
Yeah,
the
you
fact
have
that you need to
both
have
sides.
DHCP.
DHCP,
And for those of you who don't know, if you haven't used Wireshark, basically,
Enter.
well, Wireshark
it's
is,
still
you
red.
can look at all.
That shouldn't be
communications
red.
Happening on your network interface.
It's red.
Deep level
Okay.
stuff.
Just press enter, let it do
Every
it.
single request that's going in and out of that.
It's not like.
Maybe
in the-
just change it from IP.proto to just proto.
That's a lot of information.
Oh no, I'm
Something's
getting way
wrong.
ahead of my house, way ahead of myself. Just do DHCP and it will filter for it. You don't need that. There you go.
Okay, so we'll clear this.
What's with all these turn messages? Oh, that's okay. I think that might be for voice.
Where's the,
That makes sense.
where
Are
is
you
the
actively
clear?
capturing right now?
Yeah,
Permission
I wanna
from the
clear
network
this.
dictator to delete all current VMs on vSphere.
I'm gonna defer.
I don't know what's out there.
there's a lot out there.
I got stuff from members that have left. I've got
I think right
a
now,
lot of
let's
stuff from
let's
Kaiser.
not truncate anything quite
Let's
yet.
start from
Let's
Kaiser.
let's not clean anything up yet until then. So I guess in that case, we'll need to get people set up with Ice Age and then I think at that point, that's.
So is it, it's all one password, right?
Next week, or we walk
Getting
in
people
for
to
that.
log in then.
Yeah,
I'll factor that in because the big thing, because they're just talking about like, what is a VM?
right.
What is a VM? Okay, yeah, I just need a whiteboard then and I can do a pig.
Then you're gonna kind of show us.
What is
You
it?
want anybody, you want people to have done some, to have completed some homework before they come.
No, because that's the only thing I could think of is just making the fundamentals of the internet. Because they were gonna be getting more in depth of what's an interface and how does that behave in terms of Linux kind of thing.
What about any research on just understanding
Research,
vSphere?
Intro.
get a look, maybe walk through videos, just to kind of sit in the interface. You're not gonna like log in and be like, what am I looking at? You know, you've already seen like kind of it. I haven't any good videos though, so I'm not,
You want me to help with that?
that would be nice.
Okay.
That would be great.
I'll try and find some videos before I leave today, just some YouTube ones. I'll post them. in
We
the
should have
videos.
how to log into.
I think we do. It's somewhere on GitHub. And I created, me and Oxel created a little last year. We
I'm
created
sorry, who?
me and Oxel. Me and Oxel.
Who?
Oh, gosh.
Geraldo and
Great,
Geraldine.
There you go.
Geraldo and Geraldine, I speak no good. I just come over.
We need to get us some phone numbers.
No one doesn't tell ICE that I'm here. And no one doesn't know I am. My green card said this.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, we created some docs for that, for getting into Ice Age and also setting up networking, because we ran into a lot of networking issues under Ubuntu with the proxy and all that fun stuff. Because I broke it in every way except way to do it to work. So
So if you want people to watch a video and make sure they can log into Ice Rink beforehand, you probably want, you probably want to send that out.
Yeah,
by,
I'm
like,
fine.
Wednesday or something.
Yeah, we can get that out. I can get that out when I get home.
But you want me to find the basics in these here, or do you?
That would be great,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll just find something that kind of helps,
that would be good.
one-on-one level stuff.
And then when next week we can walk through setting up a VM.
I've also got all my old documents in the previous repo of how to set up a VM with Ubuntu.
Yeah, we'll get all that. Other than that, I think
Wait, I
big thing
removed
is
it,
be
actually.
walking through just high level overview of what a hypervisor is and what vSphere is into that.
Yep.
So I hear you guys bringing up like
Use
doing
TP
these things through Ubuntu. Would it be
I know
fine
there's lots of them.
to have a local Ubuntu to work with? Or like, I think everybody's on Windows too. They're kind of, like, what are they gonna have to do?
Was Naomi on a MacBook?
Not today.
An HP laptop.
Which is-
Yeah.
Yeah, we can set up the virtual box. Anything else is, because Hyper-V is a nightmare if you're not already familiar with virtualization frameworks.
Well, if we can do that, then have them install virtual box before they send.
We'll add that to the stack.
That's close, right?
We'll post it. We'll set up,
This will be such.
we'll set up local hypervisor. That will be helpful because then have someone they can get on their machine without taking off the people over at MSU.
And you might want to get that out.
I'll get that.
Yeah.
I just need to get back to home base. So I don't, because I don't have anything on me right now.
So it is you're using software to basically mimic a physical machine. So you can have a virtual machine on your computer.
As long as you have the resources, so like,
Yeah,
how much RAM do you have?
So I have 20 gigabytes, I have a PC, I got 20 gigabytes DDR3.
Okay.
Maybe I'll let this laptop here.
No, my PC.
See, that's
I
nice.
have a
It's a
GT
lot.
1030 and i5.
yeah, that's why we went all in with vSphere. That's why we went all in with vSphere is because most years, the disparity between the best laptops and the worst laptops was too big.
Yeah, well,
So you had a lot of
the
time.
nice thing about you is I can set you up with LXC, because you're on Linux, so you can have your own virtual machine containers. No, that's because it shares current. It will share the current.
We do want to emphasize, ice rink though.
Yeah,
They can
I
get,
think-
they can get to that from home. And I mean, just trust me, what you don't want, because we've had this too much. You don't want people getting done like right away because theirs is fast and then sitting there while somebody else's takes 10 minutes to get done.
Yeah, we'll say
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
If you wanna, I can set you up with LXC
That's not,
or System DN Spot, and you can use your own. Sort of separates them.
So actually, Phil, just gonna send like, Thanks, Frank.
I will stick with ice rink.
Because like he only has 8 gig.
That's not gonna do anywhere.
Like you're gonna run into a bunch of problems in that.
You don't have enough. Well, also then you'd also need, you probably don't have virtualization extensions enabled on the processor.
Yeah.
So then you need to go to the BIOS and you'll have to configure.
It's just,
that.
they're gonna need to connect anyway, so it's just better we work.
We'll stick with that. Yeah, that works. You're a special edge case though, because you got Linux. So if you want to run your own local things, you most certainly can, even though you only got 8 gigs of memory. You can still get away with that stuff.
except for 64 gigabyte of swap space.
No, there's no reason that you ever need to do that.
Well, if you have a terabyte RAM,
Nobody in
I
their
don't,
right
then you
mind-
don't need swaps.
No, if you're on Linux and you have 24 gigs of RAM, you have no reason to have swapping. There's no reason for you to waste disk space with a swap environment. Linux does just fine. If you're at 16, sure, you have a reason for it. I'm not gonna crap on you for that, but if you have anything more than 24, then
Swap all off.
well, it slows the system down. It's constantly asking, hey, yo, do we need swap space? Do we need to swap in disk?
Yep.
It's always asking that. There's no reason to have it if you have enough memory.
Then where I could
Let me.
upgrade it, even though it's not another one.
You'll need to solder the RAM chip and then solder in a new chip. And it has to be of the same brand, because otherwise you're gonna run into firmware issues.
Or sort of zoom.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's incredibly risky. I don't have a micro soldering station
So
yet.
that's all I got to.
It's way too risky at that point.
This.
If you want more memory, you're at a point where it makes more sense to just get a new laptop and hope that it has a usage stowed in memory cards instead.
Any that don't have a user's name attached to it.
What do you mean?
Meaning, so
I don't think mine-
on the,
You have a CRM swap page,
I don't know who Pam is, me.
a compressed.
That would be,
What it does is it allocates
what's his
like 2
name?
gigabytes of memory.
Josh.
And it has a compressed page. Where what it does is whenever, instead of
So
swapping,
those
it's
terms.
gonna swap to memory, but it's gonna compress it and just store it in there. So you can usually get yourself an extra gig of memory at the expense of processing.
You can delete mine, I'm off with Ronan, delete those too, but I think maybe the others, I mean, even people who have graduated, you might as well just send them a DM and ask if it's okay to delete their machines.
Okay, you do.
I think send them a DM and
Yeah.
say, we're gonna delete this in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you wanna download,
The win.
We'll
if you
have
need
at it.
loading,
I think that'd be better.
Yeah.
Okay, this won't mess with the dual boot. This is a.
Good idea.
Cause it worked whenever we say, hey, do you want, my boss is always make it actionable, take the bias for action, he says.
Oh.
I got mess with myself.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
But I think we're on the same page for the next week. You're out 2 weeks, right?
I'm out 2 weeks.
So what's the?
Yeah, where's the,
Public service.
Yeah, real quick, while we got.
I didn't post that, did I? I'll,
Yeah, I don't think you did.
so I was trying to get I do have the start of, a content based, so I've got a folder for how the internet works in a local branch.
Okay.
So I'll try to get that out.
I'd like to put my stuff out.
Yeah.
Start preparing for my stuff,
How much memory did you say you had?
You can keep that, I mean.
So this one, right?
Yeah, this one, and then you're posting your stuff at. So, yeah, so we've got Isaac, you're up next week, and then Isaac, the follow-up is the network
It
games.
says Isaac Axel.
Isaac Oxel.
You can be online.
So you guys are
Yep.
working together the next 2 weeks.
Isaac's the primary one on that though.
Yes, yeah, but you're the backup or
Actually,
assistant.
then
or
we're
whatever.
going to we'll both feel.
Okay. Yeah, the next 2 weeks we're online, right? Is that right?
Yes.
You have a ZRAM generator, do you? Okay. Yeah, you don't have a ZRAM set up. What you can do is you can look up, so the system D is pretty cool in regard that you can install a firing agent. That what it will do is we'll go probe to see if you have ZRAM already configured. And if you don't, then it will set one up and build it for you. The problem a lot with Linux is that it doesn't really remember anything. It's basically, you can think of Linux as just like having dementia. Whenever you turn it off, it forgets everything. It's awful. But yeah, you can look into that, setting up a ZRAM system.
Yeah, I think it'll help everybody if we just post that. and see what-
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that can give you some extra space, if your processor can handle it. If your processor can't handle.
Is that a shared doc?
Your savings
Well, that's-
aren't gonna
Are you
be-
doing like a,
Yeah, it's shared with you guys.
What are you
I'm
trying
sharing
to do
with
with that
everybody.
memory though?
Or like
They're
up-
there.
for updates and
Well,
stuff?